Welcome back to another episode of Home Service Headquarters. Today we welcome on Zach Farmer. Zach runs a YouTube channel called 731 Zach, where he goes around his community and cleans up different locations, lawns, and property completely for free. If you are somebody who's looking to grow your YouTube channel for your landscaping business, or somebody that just wants to get started with their own YouTube channel, you're not going to want to miss this. Let's hop in to the interview with Zach. Welcome back to another episode of Home Service Headquarters. Today I have my buddy Zach Farmer on today to talk about all things Zach. Talk about his life story a little bit, a little career history, and then talk and dive into his YouTube channel or channels. He's got a couple of them out there. Where he does some really cool things with some free landscaping work and cleanup. Zach, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Can't complain. It's a little cold up here in Minnesota. I wish I was down, although we were just talking, it's pretty cold in Tennessee right now, but we're getting through it. Holidays coming up this week. Trying to, hibernate until the weather gets warm again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready for some long days.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, we're almost to that solstice. Actually, I think that might be today, the shortest day of the year. And
I
then
thought it was yesterday,
yesterday.
but
Like
yeah.
I know. All I know is that it gets dark before I leave work, and it's a little bit depressing. I'm ready. I'm ready for
Oh,
those longer days too. Awesome.
right.
Well, I mentioned it a little bit. You do quite a few things. If we can just off the top tell the people a little bit about you, maybe start with a career history, location, and that can lead us into your YouTube channels and the work you do there.
Absolutely. So whenever I fresh out of high school, I always want to do something with wildlife. But as I was in high school and working out of high school, going to college, I was doing mowing and landscaping with a guy here in town, and then had my own little gig on the side. And then while I was going to college, I was studying to be an actual park ranger. So that's kind of where both my channels come from, is the love of the outdoors and then mowing on the side. So that's where that all comes from.
Love it. Yeah, always outdoors for you. Definitely and the hard work was is a constant theme. So you personally right now, work wise, what are you up to? What are you doing? And then how does that
Uh,
kind of relate to the landscaping?
yeah. Currently, that doesn't. My job right now does nothing for landscaping. So I do a lot of. I work for the city actually, and
Gotcha.
I clean poop water for a living. Test it really. I'm a wastewater plant operator, and
Gotcha.
what that entails is we pretty much just make sure everything's running right through the plant and doing testing weekly when we're discharging, and then um, just make sure the water quality is good to go on the way out.
Gotcha. So you're in the community with work, and then outside of work, you have 731 Zach YouTube channel where you do a whole bunch of different things, but mostly are giving back to the community. So you're in the community for work, but then you're also
Yeah.
giving back to your community, cleaning up different locations. How'd you get started doing that? I know you mentioned you were always kind of, doing the landscaping on the
Yeah,
side. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
something you've always been doing, but how'd you maybe it was a switch, or were you always doing things for free?
No, I wasn't always doing things for free. Like I was kind of doing it on the side, and then I talked to a buddy with another YouTube channel, and he said that he was actually doing his stuff for free now, and I kind of did a few things for free, and then I just kind of put a few. I mean, I had tried to help people out where I could, to
Yeah.
be honest with you, before I even thought about YouTube. So I try to help people out where I could, and then it just kind of rolled over into the YouTube. After a buddy said that he was kind of starting to do that, and I just kind of followed suit. And he's actually much bigger than I am, so. But yeah, that's kind of mainly it. I kind of followed his lead on that whenever he kind of suggested, why don't you just, if you're gonna mow, mow. and put it on YouTube. And I was like, okay. So
Yeah,
then I started doing stuff for free, and the jobs got bigger. So
right. It's one of the coolest things that, I mean, there's a lot of negativity around social media, but having the chance to just help somebody out, do it for free, and then people, everybody wants to have that warm feeling watching somebody do it. Gives you a chance to, get views and build a channel while also helping people out. It's a cool thing.
yeah, I think so too. And there's a lot of hate that comes around that kind of stuff whenever you start doing stuff for free for people and then recording it,
Yeah,
which I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like, well, if I can actually get you to watch it and you get something off of it, and then they're getting something out of it, why can't I get something back in return in the way of, views on YouTube or something?
right.
So I think that's, it's a great circle of life there, as you may say.
Yeah, it's symbiotic where everybody's benefiting and there's really no downside. There's always going to be, people spouting off on the internet, but it's such a cool thing. And yeah, there's a few people doing it. You mentioned your buddy, so other people are doing it, but there's a lot of lawns. There's a lot of people who, might not be able to take care of their own stuff. So to be able to bop around, and especially in your own, community where you live and work, to be able to help people out is an awesome thing. So when you are, you've always been doing the landscaping thing on the side. How did you go about kind of starting to put together the gear and things like that? Was it just all personal things you've used
Um,
on your
for the
lawn and property?
Yeah, for the most part, when I was mowing when I was younger, it was just dad's mower. So
Right.
I just jacked dad's mower and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna start mowing a few yards. And I got a little older and I ended up buying my own mower, and it actually burnt. Like, it kept throwing belts and I was having problems with it. And like, I parked it down. I didn't park it. My belt broke and it got stuck down by the road. And I left to go to town one day, and the neighbor calls me and she's like, "Hey, the kids say your mower's on fire." And I was like, "What?"
What?
Yeah. And I mean, I was like right up the road. So I called my fiance. I was like, "Hey, the kid said the neighbor's kid said that my mower's on fire." And she like opens the door and she's like, "Oh my God, Zach." And about that time you just hear, and I guess one of the tires exploded or something. And she's like, "What do I need to do?" I said, "Call the fire department. I'll be there
Yeah.
in a minute." So, but I lucked out, and um, homeowners insurance covered me on that, and
Okay.
actually got a brand new mower out of it, and so that was more incentive to just like say, "Hey, I was blessed with something.
Yeah,
Push
for
it
real.
on, push it, and give it forward a little bit." So that's what I done.
Incredible. Do you have anything else that you kind of use out on the job? Any, 731 Zach must use products or anything like that
Oh yeah,
that you feature?
my chainsaw is the pride and joy of most of my channels, because I don't know why it's like you don't get the tall grass around here like everywhere else. It's a lot of stemmy stuff, and I'm like,
Sure.
man, so it's all back breaking work. So I'm cutting a lot of stuff down. So my chainsaw is where it's at, but I'm not name dropping anything because they don't sponsor me.
Not yet, at least. Maybe they'll find
No.
this and we both blow up and all of a sudden, we're sponsored by Steel or somebody. That's the dream. So, uh, started basically just, kind of out of the goodness of your heart. Any other thing that kind of inspired you to do it, or just, you realized you kind of had this opportunity, had a buddy who was doing the same thing?
Yeah, so like I said, my buddy, he was just like, and I actually watched him go from like 200 subs to I turn around and look like 8 months later and he has 800,000 subs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I'd already made one video in that time. And then it was just kind of just me mowing some tall grass out in the field. And then I got to look and I was like, huh, maybe there's something on to, in
Yeah.
this. And I was like, all right. So, but I'll go ahead and Al Blades is my buddy's name. So
Yeah,
yeah, we talk to him frequently.
yeah. And is he local? Is he close to you, or is he?
Absolutely not. He's down in Florida, and we met through a mutual friend.
Gotcha.
I had a buddy that moved to Florida and works as a lineman down there, and he kind of hooked us up, and we've been talking ever since. So
Awesome. So if somebody is, watching this, coming across this, or comes across your channel and, thinks to themselves, I'd like to do, what Zach does or what Al does, there's plenty of, room to do it across all your different communities.
yeah, there's tons of people doing it, and I mean, really, it's just as far as finding people, it's just getting out and beating up the roads, really. And I mean, you probably pass places every day that could
Right.
use something, some kind of touch up. Um, which I've been planning on doing more sidewalk work. There's a ton of
Sure.
sidewalk work that needs to be done around here, but it's just we've kind of got into a busy season right here, and I've been just kind of swamped, so I ain't really been able to do just a whole bunch. So
Right. Um, yeah, that's awesome. You talked about a little bit about kind of how you go about finding locations or finding people. Is it really just, on your commute, or, when you're out in the community doing, you name it, whatever, and you see different spots and just knocking on doors, having conversations, or what does that look like?
yeah, so like I said, it's just if I'm getting ready to do a video or if I want to do a video, it's a lot of riding around.
Sure.
Somebody might send me like they'll shoot me a message and say, "Hey, this house over here is kind of growed up." Which I mean, they're not all the same. Some of them it's not really worth the content stuff,
Sure.
and then some of them are just like, man, that's too much for what I got. So like, I'm kind of waiting. I'm kind of stuck in between. I'm like, man, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to do,
Mhm.
and I don't have like the equipment to do it, or
Yeah.
it's like not there yet.
Yeah.
So
I mean, how long have you been at the game of cleaning up and doing what you do?
So I've been doing I wanna say I've been doing the YouTube stuff for about a year and a half, 2 years now.
Hmm.
Um, and then as far as mowing and taking care of, if somebody needs some help, that's been since I was in high school and I graduated in '09, so, I mean, that's been a long time.
Right, right. Yeah, by the time somebody comes across this, you year and a half, you're at almost 7,000 subscribers, so you've been growing. It's kind of, one of those situations as you continue to keep growing, as people continue to keep supporting you, might have that ability to kinda get that next piece of equipment or whatever you need to kinda keep having those larger jobs.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So go like and subscribe Zach's videos. I know I do. Check those out for sure. Help him get that bigger equipment, move up
Yeah.
jobs, and we'll grow, make that community, cleaner one step at a time. Do you have, in your year and a half of doing it, or even maybe before you were doing it, a favorite job, whether that was the most rewarding, personal wise, to, you really help somebody out, or the best job, getting your
Man,
hands dirty and something
I
like
don't
that?
think I really have one that really stands out. It's just when people are like, "Man, it looks a lot better here," That's kind of where everything just kind of comes full circle, and it's like, yeah, this was worth it. Because
Right.
I mean, sometimes I'm spending days out at these places, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I doing
Yeah.
that?
Get
But I
exhausted.
mean, at the end of it, when I could turn around and look at the before and after for me, I'm
Yeah.
like, man, this was, it's satisfying to myself also. So.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Have you had any people who have, seen what you've done for maybe a neighbor or something and tried to contract you out, start paying just on like a weekly or anything like that?
No, but I've had a guy that he's a realtor, and he's like, you know, if
Oh,
I come
sure.
if I have jobs, a couple houses, you willing to do it? And I'm like, yeah. So I mean, it's just a matter of time. I've already done one for him, and he's talking about another one. So
Love that. Yeah. Another way. I mean, that's not the reason you have the channel or do what you do, but, to be able to kind of flip it and make it different side hustle. You kind of this is YouTube's kind of a side hustle for you, but making it a side hustle. That's a good lead in, a professional podcasting segue for us there. We always ask our guests when they're talking about different industries that they're in, can it side hustle? I guess in general, right, doing this YouTube, it is your side hustle. Is this something you think other people could start doing as a side job after work or something like that and grow it into something real?
YouTube or just cleaning up? Because I mean that, yeah,
Both,
either
yeah.
one,
Maybe
yeah,
focus on the YouTube, which and how you do it.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just people want to see what you're doing, so you got to make sure that you're showing them. Because I've had jobs where I'm like, either the camera, I don't get the camera cut on, or it cuts off or run out, and people are like, "Hey, where was this at? I wanted
Yeah,
to see this," and I'm like, "Ah, my bad."
yeah,
So people want to see it, and it's kind of, especially with YouTube, it's all about the views.
yeah,
Views are what pays, and so that's uh that's the biggest thing. But as far as cleaning up in the community, there's tons of people that are willing to give me money after the fact, or
yeah,
you know, but a lot of that is just it pays enough for fuel. So
yeah.
because I'm not asking, because these are some of these jobs are huge jobs, and they should actually be paid like
Thousands.
500 to 600 to $1,000,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
When you were getting, did you like growing up? Were you making videos and things, or how did you go about starting with the video equipment? How did you start, and are you still using those same things?
No, when I was growing up, I don't think I had any want to make videos at all. Um, I actually have a buddy down the road, and we grew up together. He's actually one that kind of inspired me to start a YouTube channel, and that's Tad,
Yeah.
Taddy Digest. So
I think we
yeah,
just interviewed. Yeah, Taylor just interviewed Tad a couple
yeah,
days ago. So by the time people probably watch that video and then hop over here.
yeah. So that was one of the biggest inspirations into starting a YouTube channel was Tad for sure.
Love it. And Tad does kind of HVAC and some different
Yeah.
things. I mean,
He
Tad's
does
from
HVAC, and then he does, like, some homesteading stuff. So, like, if that's what you're interested in and homesteading and getting your air conditioning on, yeah, head over.
yeah. Hey, that's a good home service headquarters plug. If you haven't watched Tad's video yet, hop back over, watch Tad, Zach's buddy. Some of the inspiration for starting some of this stuff as well. Love it. We'll do a quick hit or miss rapid fire segment. Something we always try to do. Some quick hitters. Ask Zach some statements, let him respond hit or miss, and expand on that. We're just talking about a little bit hit or miss. It takes a lot to start a YouTube channel in general.
Miss. I mean, it's simple. I mean, every day somebody's carrying around what it takes to start a YouTube channel in their pocket. I
Right.
mean, and it's just and really it's not even the know-how, it's just getting on YouTube itself, and you can look it up just quick, and everything you need to know is right there. And especially, everybody has a smartphone nowadays. They can start a YouTube channel anytime, anywhere. So
Love it. Hit or miss, you need a lot of equipment to clean up lawns. We touched on this a little bit. You started with, dad's mower, a mower that, went up in flames. You need a lot of equipment to start doing what you do.
no, I mean I don't think so. Most people have a lawnmower,
Right.
I would say, and then probably just a weed eater and a shovel. It'll probably take you a long ways right there.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I mean, you started with one, it's basically been one more, a couple mowers throughout
Yeah.
the whole journey, and you've been, going through it. Hit or miss, people are always happy to have you help them out.
Miss. That is one of the
Crazy.
biggest misconceptions, man. I've had people that are like, I don't think so. And then there's some
Crazy.
that are like, yeah, I'd love for you to do it. You're not putting it on YouTube though. And I'm like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, people always act some type of way, but like we talked about at the beginning too, it's there's really no downside. You clean up somebody's yard for them,
Yeah.
put in a
I don't
whole
get
bunch of hard work and, grow your community.
I had a guy the other day, I went up to him and I asked him, I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I noticed your yard was overgrown. I was just riding by. I was like, I can come in here and I can clean up everything for you." And he's like, "No, I'm good, man." He's like, "I got a guy that comes by once a year and mows, just mows, doesn't clean up or anything." And I was like, "Okay." So,
Crazy. Crazy. This one leads to well into this last one, hit or miss. People are oftentimes confused about what you're doing and why you're doing it.
that's a hit. I mean, yeah, a lot of times they're like, "What? You're doing this for free?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it for free." And they're just like, "I can pay you something," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "It doesn't. That's you don't have to do that. I
Yeah.
can
Those are probably
rely."
some of the best ones where basically take people completely by surprise and they don't need to understand it to get something out of it. They're a third party that benefits having their area cleaned up, their neighbors benefit, the whole community kind of benefits.
Yep, yep. I've had people say that they're happy I've done stuff, and they don't even own the lot. They just live close. They can see it. So
Yeah, no, yeah, you never want that junky neighbor up the street. You don't want to be it, but you also don't want to live by it. Love it. We asked about favorite job. On the flip side of that, have you ever had a least favorite job, whether that be, maybe somebody
oh,
that was hard to work for or a job you started doing and all of a sudden it just kept expanding and expanding?
I hate to. I won't go into too much detail, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
do.
definitely. I've
Love
had
that.
a few of those.
Few of them?
Yeah, well, one really, but then there's another one where it was just I was picking up trash for hours. It seemed like, and I was like, "Man, why did I even do this?" But
Yeah,
but
someday that
it
probably
turned
never
out
again.
good. It turned out real good.
Is that one you did a video for?
Yeah, I done a video on that one.
Well, hopefully the views blew up at least if you're breaking your neck for it and spending all that time.
They did. It went pretty good. So
Love it. Do you have any big plans coming up? I mean, you mentioned some of those jobs you've been, kind of eyeing a little bit. Anything for subscribers on your channel to kind of be on the lookout for coming up?
kind of sitting on the idle right now until it dries up a little bit at least.
Sure.
So, but I mean, I'm always looking out for upcoming jobs. So
If
you
people
never know.
are watching this, how would they best get in contact with you? Would that be commenting on videos, sending you an email, or how would somebody who's maybe in Tennessee, kind of in your area, how would they get a hold of you?
Absolutely, they can look me up on, yeah, most social media platforms, um, and find 731 Zach across YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So just hit me up, let me know.
Love it. Comment, email, and yeah, you're big on Facebook too. You're on all the socials, so
Yeah,
um,
DM me.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, hit him with a DM. That'd be fun too to maybe get like a subscriber video, like, hey, this person hit me up, have a little feature interview or something, and
Absolutely,
then you can cut out that awkward conversation where you have to kind of explain,
everything.
yeah, everything. You cut out, get a little bit of a different, easier interaction, and cut out the middleman. Love it. Two last things. One, we always ask people advice. Number one piece of advice, whether that be life in general or if somebody wants to kind of do what you do, what's your number one piece of advice for them?
Don't wait. If you think you want to do a YouTube channel, do it. I mean, just get on there and start. And I have a ton of people that sit there and they'll be like, "I really want to start a YouTube channel. I've been thinking about doing that." And they push it off. And then I see them again. And I'm like, "Did you start that YouTube channel?" And they're
Yeah,
like, "No, I haven't, not yet." And I'm like, "Wow." And they're like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Start it. Open up your phone and,
yeah,
start your channel." I mean, all it takes is a couple hours. Um, as long as you're not doing like yard work, all it takes is a couple,
Yeah,
like it
right.
don't even take a couple hours to do a video. You can just do a simple little video, and a lot of people, they find just little things that blow up, and I think it's the coolest thing ever for people to be able to do something that they like, whether it's small and takes 5 minutes or if it takes 2 or 3 days and get people to watch it. I think that's great.
Yeah, I would say, as we have some of these interviews or just have conversations with people, who do anything, whether that's landscaping in general or landscaping on YouTube, the one thing that kind of spans all the people in this industry is just a little bit of hard work. So that's something, from knowing you, you've had forever. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing it, you're a hardworking individual, just take the jump. Um, and
Absolutely.
it can change, right? That first video you made wasn't maybe exactly what the next video you make. So there's really no reason to not just start rolling.
Right. Like that first video I made, I think about mowing. Like I had a bunch of videos prior to that, and they weren't any. It was just all outdoor stuff. And then I done that one video mowing, and I was like, I think it got like 2,300 views or something like that. And then I was like, okay, and got like 4 or 5 subscribers, and I was like, there's something to this. So
Yeah, take it and run with it. Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you jumping on. How can people support you? Subscribe, follow?
absolutely, if they want to, excuse my dog, if they want to go to the channel and 731 Zach, they can actually find my LinkedIn account, and they can go anywhere they want to from there. I've got another YouTube channel which is also on my LinkedIn account where you can go to the link in on my YouTube, and you can find me there. So 731 Zach on most platforms.
Love it. Yeah, you mentioned the other YouTube channel, which as soon as we hang up here, probably talk about some outdoor stuff because that's something we both do, and you're much better at it than me. So I'm gonna pick your brain on it as soon as we hang up here. But I appreciate you jumping on. Everybody who came by this video, make sure to hop over to Zach's channels, like, subscribe, and watch as he continues on the journey and continues to blow up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. We'll talk to you soon.